Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV with your college basketball Elite Eight Sunday edition. Fade the public Sunday, March the 26th. The final two games before we get to the final four next weekend, the start of April next weekend. This will be our last round of 32 down to 16, down to 8 now in the month of March. The madness is still here, and I'm looking at both Elite Eight games here for Sunday evening, March the 26th. Let you know where the public is on both the side and total, and also dive a little bit deeper into some analysis and matchup analysis for you in both games here on Sunday. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't taken advantage of that special promo code here on the video this weekend, you still have time to do so. Get any 7-day package. You get an instant $25 discount at checkout with promo code BRACKET25. BRACKET25. You can use it for college hoops, for pro hoops, for baseball, or do the all sports. The 7-day all sports gets all three of those that I mentioned, college and pro basketball each day. And don't forget, I'm number one this year in 2023 in the NBA at WagerTalk.com, and number one the past 2 years combined in both college and pro basketball sides at WagerTalk. So both college and pro hoops is always a great investment. And yes, baseball starts this Thursday, less than a week away. Number one the last 2 years combined with MLB totals. Looking forward to a fantastic baseball season once again. Try the 7-day package, whether you want college or pro hoops, baseball, or the all sports. You get an instant $25 discount on any 7-day package with promo code BRACKET25. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. All right, let's look at both games here for Sunday, the Elite Eight. I'm doing this video on Saturday or afternoon, early evening, so we don't have the results of the Saturday games yet, but I want to go ahead and look at the Sunday games, see who might else get to the Final Four here. And the first game goes at 2:20 Eastern Sunday afternoon on CBS, and by both games are on CBS Sunday as opposed to TBS on Saturday. We have the 6 seed Creighton against the 5 seed San Diego State in the South region. This taking place once again in Louisville, Kentucky. And the lower seeded team, Creighton, is actually the point spread favorite here. Creighton opens about a 1.5 point favorite. It's now up to 2 across the board. Total has risen a full basket from 132.5 up to 134.5. Even see some 135s out there on Saturday afternoon. So it does look like it's creeping even higher. First off, this is a rematch from last year's NCAA tournament, a very rare occasion that we get a rematch the very next year. The difference is these two teams are seated a lot higher this year, 5th and 6th. Last year, it was an 8-9 matchup in which Creighton upset San Diego State as the 9 seed, upset them as the 8 seed. As far as the point spread, San Diego State was also a 2.5 point favorite in that game. So it was an upset both based on the point spread and from the seeding. And San Diego State really should have won that game. They were up by 7 at halftime, up by 9 with 2.5 minutes to go. In fact, they were up by as much as 14 in that game before blowing the 14-point lead. The 9-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go based on missed free throws and mainly based on turnover. And then it went to overtime. They had a lead in overtime and blew that and ended up losing 72-69 in OT. So this is a huge revenge game for San Diego State. Not that they really need that motivation, obviously, because both teams are highly motivated to make the Final Four. But it's an interesting matchup for that reason. Total ended 141 last year with the overtime. The over-under line was only 121, much lower, obviously. And what's interesting is they scored 17 points in overtime. So they were at 62 all, which is 124 at the end of regulation. So they'd already gone over the very low total. And that was with both teams shooting extremely poor from three-point range. In fact, they were combined 7 for 33 in the game. San Diego State only 26%. Creighton just 2 for 14, 14%. And they had 20 turnovers, yet they still found a way to win that game. So definitely interesting digging into that box score from last season. As far as the public sentiment in this game, the public is leaning towards the dog, San Diego State. Not a surprise as we get later in the tournament with quality teams playing in any sport, NFL playoffs, March Madness. Whenever you have two really good teams playing, the public does start to lean towards dogs more. So I wouldn't read too much into that. A light lean towards San Diego State. The public also leaning towards the over. And the initial sharp money was on the over as well in this game with that 2-point climb higher. The key for me in this game is going to be pace. Creighton likes to play up tempo. They're one of the top third in tempo in the country this year. Very good offense, 22nd efficiency, 14th most efficient defense. San Diego State, the 4th best defense. Now, they were 5th in the Ken Palms after upsetting Alabama, the number 1 overall seed on Friday night. They're now the 4th best defense, but they're only 70th on offense. That's the difference here, is Creighton's the much better offensive team, but San Diego State is the better defensive team. And as we saw against Alabama, that San Diego State defense can shut down anybody when they're playing their top game. And they do play a lot slower, around 255. Their tempo rating was in the 260s last week. Alabama sped them up a bit in that second half. But San Diego State still likes the slow down half court style. And for the most part, it was working last year against Creighton as they blew that 14-point lead and the 9-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go. So we'll see if they can get the revenge here on Sunday in the Elite Eight at 2:20 Eastern, Creighton and San Diego State. All right, the one other game that follows that is the Midwest region final at 5 p.m. Eastern, also on CBS, this time in Kansas City, Missouri. 5th seed Miami of Florida, 2 seed Texas. Of course, Miami pulling the huge upset of Houston, who was the second highest rated team in the tournament, the number 1 rated team in KenPom basically all season. By the way, Connecticut heading into Saturday was now ranked higher than both Houston, UCLA, and Alabama. So that was interesting. It's the first time we'd seen UConn in that one spot. Of course, that game hasn't played yet. I'm doing this video on Saturday afternoon, but I thought that was something interesting to point out with both Houston and Bama losing and UCLA losing the night before. They've all fallen behind UConn in the KenPom rankings. Miami of Florida has bumped up a bit higher, but they're still 26th overall. They're not even top 25 still in the KenPoms. Their offense took a huge jump after Friday, though. They were the 11th most efficient offense in the country, and that monster game against a really good Houston defense has doubled them up to 6th now. So that's one of the biggest jumps you'll ever see with 35 games under your belt, going from 11th to 6th. And that's how good Miami's offense was against Houston on Friday night. They led from start to finish, basically. Miami's weakness, of course, is the 104th ranked defensive efficiency, and they do play fast, 92nd fastest tempo in the country. But Texas is comfortable playing fast as well, 100th tempo, 15-10 on offense and defense. That's exactly where they were before the blowout win of Xavier. So once again, the efficiency rankings did not improve on either side for Texas. And if you look a little bit deeper, Texas has had a pretty easy matchup so far in the tournament. As I mentioned earlier, we had a strong best bet on them against Penn State. I felt like that was the right side. Last week on Saturday, they went just 1 for 13 from 3-point range, and they still failed to cover by just half a point. Texas obviously manhandled Xavier. We had a best bet on Texas again against Xavier on Friday night. That game was never in doubt. The 12-point final was actually closer than the game was for the majority of the second half. And, of course, they had an easy opener against Colgate. So this is a huge step up in class, especially as far as offensive opponent goes against Miami. Xavier played fast, but Miami's better offensively. Hurricanes also entered. They were fortunate to beat Drake. We played against them in the first round, and Drake led almost the entire game and then played not to lose. But Miami's looked really impressive since then against Indiana and Houston. It does look like they're peaking. And one thing we got to keep in mind is Jim Larrañaga. He took George Mason a decade and a half ago to the Final Four as a double-digit seed. He's now in Miami. They made the Elite Eight last year, which a lot of people forget. They made the Elite Eight again this year. Larrañaga is always dangerous as an underdog, and the public is on Miami in this game. Just like the San Diego State game, the public likes Miami in this one. They're leaning towards the Hurricane. And just like the other game, they're leaning towards the over as well. We saw this line open 4.5. It's come down to 4. I even see a 3.5 on Saturday at Circa, who's a pretty sharp book. So this line is dropping. Total opened 149.5. It's holding around 149, 149.5. So we've seen very little movement on the total, but we have seen the line drop a bit on Miami of Florida. Maybe that's a little bit of early sharp money, but it's also some public money, as the public likes the dog here in Miami and also leans towards the over. Once again, both games this Sunday, public is leaning towards the dog and the over in both games. Nothing crazy, but definitely a little bit of a public lean towards those sides and totals. Hey, hope you found this information useful. Wanted to give you a quick hitter one for the Elite Eight on Sunday here. Check back next week. I do plan on doing a Final Four Fade the Public video sometime later in the week, so make sure you hit subscribe. Hit the bell for instant alerts when any of these videos go live. You can be the first to watch, and comment below. Of course, I read all the comments and I reply back. I love the support. Let's win together. Let's put our heads together and come up with even better information as a group. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up, a like if you found it useful as well. Check out WagerTalk TV all week long, Monday through Friday, for both college and pro basketball shows. WagerTalk today at noon Eastern, college tip-off at 2 o'clock Eastern. MLB first pitch, I believe, is going to start this week as well. Baseball alert once again, opening day on Thursday. And don't forget the NBA shows on at 4:15 Eastern each weekday as well. So hit subscribe, hit the bell for instant alerts when the shows and videos go live. Don't forget to like, thumbs up, and comment below. And also, don't forget, last chance this weekend to take advantage of that great discount on any 7-day package with promo code BRACKET25, an instant $25 discount on any 7-day package when you use promo code BRACKET25. NBA number 1 in 2023. College and pro hoop sides number 1 the last 2 years combined. MLB totals number 1 the last 2 years combined. And baseball starts this Thursday. College and pro hoops on a daily basis this week as well. Don't miss out. Any 7-day package, instant $25 discount with promo code BRACKET25. Thanks for watching. Check me out on Twitter as well at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L, at Steve Merril, Merril on Twitter. And I'll be back all week long right here on WagerTalk TV with more content for you. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games on Sunday, and best of luck.